I helped Dr. Ryan from Pinnacle Wellness Center in Pleasanton, California, grow his practice from $4,000 a month to over $31,000. In this video, I'll walk you through the three biggest levers we used to help him hit his first 30K month, even though he was stuck at a plateau for years. By the end of this, you'll be able to take these lessons he learned and apply them directly to your practice. Okay, so how this content is organized. I break each change into 4 different steps. Step 1, the problem Dr. Ryan had and the result it led to. Number 2, what variable we changed and why we made this change. This is so you know how to customize it for your practice. Number 3, what specific change we actually made for Dr. Ryan. And then number 4, the result in the practice after the change. And so the first problem we had was that Dr. Ryan didn't have a structured offer or a lead magnet to get people interested. That meant new patients had to take on all the risk as they spent multiple hundreds of dollars on an exam with someone they didn't trust yet, just to see if it could even be a potential fit. And once people did come in, he was either selling chiro a la carte or in packages. And he was planning to do the exact same thing with HBOT. There was absolutely no clear and specific expectations for how much care patients would need, which led to patients dropping off. It led to missed re-exams and inconsistent results. And so let's talk a little bit about where he was at. He had low new patient flow, he had low conversions, and he had low retention. He only had 1 new patient every other month. That sounds crazy, but no, this is true. Less than 50% of his patients stayed for more than a few visits. And why is that? Expectations were unclear. So people were unintentionally dropping out of care. It's not that they didn't believe that it could help them. It's just that they weren't sure how often they needed to come in. They weren't continuing after the initial treatment plan to know what care looked like afterwards. Patients were often price shopping when comparing him to other chiros in the area, even though he does so many different things. He is vastly different from any other chiropractor in his area, but people are all just price shopping, right? And so his prices, he felt, had to be much lower because he had to be competing with practices like The Joint and other things his patients just didn't know, and he wasn't telling them. So to start, we had 2 strong offers. Number 1, a lead magnet offer. Number 2, a core offer. We'll talk about what each of these are in just a second here, but why did we focus on the offers? Your offer has the biggest impact on your return on investment on any kind of marketing. Okay, it has the power to 10x any marketing you do. It is 20% of the work that yields 80% of the results. If we were to only focus on one thing, it would be how do we just improve our offer? And if results aren't where you want them to be from your marketing or in your conversion process, it is most likely an offer issue. So let's break these 2 down. What is a lead magnet offer? A lead magnet offer is just a hook. A lead magnet is the hook that grabs a patient's attention. When dealing with cold traffic, your first step is building trust and rapport. A lead magnet gives patients a low-risk way to experience your care before they commit. A lead magnet is typically a discounted or free, complete solution to a narrow problem your patients have. For example, a discounted consult and exam is a lead magnet. It is discounted, and it solves the patient's whole problem of not knowing how to fix their pain. No, it doesn't solve how to address and actually addressing their pain, but it solves the problem of not knowing what is wrong and how to fix it. But the second problem we have is treating that pain. And so we solve this part through the care we get, which we could sell afterwards, right? So lead magnet's that hook. Hey, here's a discounted way to figure out what's going wrong. And then the solution we sell separately, which is the care plan. The goal of a lead magnet is very simple. We want to build trust with our ideal patients and increase the number of people saying, yeah, this sounds interesting, right? So if you want to attract more new patients than you can possibly handle, you absolutely must have a lead magnet that patients actually want, okay? Something that delivers so much immediate value that patients feel stupid saying, no, I don't want that. Just to iterate this, we are not giving away free things just to give them away. Okay, we're offering value with the understanding that it leads to far more revenue on the back end. A great lead magnet leads to more interested people, and it even increases the chance an interested patient converts to your core offer. Not only does it lead to more people starting, right, but it means that more people will actually choose to move forward with that care plan. Why is that? Because these patients trust you. They understand that what you do is different because they've experienced it. You're not just telling them that you're different. A personal experience is 10 times more convincing than a promise, especially if that promise is coming from the business owner. And secondly, the law of reciprocity. What is this? When people do nice things for us, we want to reciprocate those things. And here's the psychology behind that. When you give people something valuable first, with no strings attached, they naturally feel like they owe you something in return and they want to reciprocate. It is human nature, all right? We'll give an example in just a second here, but most of the time, giving an insane deal for a lead magnet gives patients this level of value they want to repay you for. And most of the time, when you give people way more value up front than you ask for, they don't just give back equally, they give back more. For example, you take a friend out for coffee and cover their $7 latte. Not a big deal. A week later, they might agree to spending 3 hours in 90-degree heat helping you move. That's reciprocity in action. These are actual examples we see. And it's just because you're building that relationship. Just giving without expecting a return shows, wait, This must be a bigger relationship than I thought. And so some pro tips here. Include a risk reversal, a guarantee, a discount, etc. So patients aren't fearful of, hey, what's the worst that can happen? I could lose all these $350 for the exam. Great. Number 2, discounts capture attention because people know how much the discount is worth. They see that they're saving $200 if something is marked down to $47 from $247. Number 3, too many people lean only on discounts. We want to stack value on top of those discounts through bonuses that patients consider valuable. This separates you from others. Combining this with discounts multiplies the results you're going to get from any marketing. Key, patients need to consider them valuable, right? And that leads us to number 4, too many people add in these bonuses that patients don't want, right? That is only giving you more work without improving the results. Okay, think about that. If you were going to do it right. Most valuable bonuses include massage, red light, H-spot, soft tissue work, etc. It's all these things that feel more holistic in nature. Number 5, if you don't offer a service like this, partner with another business that would be willing to see them for a free single visit. We can trade that they get a new client or new patient for free from it. Don't say, hey, chiro is the only thing they need. I'm not offering another service. I agree. Chiropractic is extremely important. But if packaging another service is the difference between a person not coming in at all or coming in for that first visit and potentially signing on to care, isn't this a good trade? So why does a lead magnet make sense? It is far more difficult to get people to show interest in an offer than it is to convert those people. So it's worth the effort to make an insanely good offer and get more total conversions on the back end. Here's how the math works out. If 1 out of 25 people show interest in your core offer and buys, you make 1 sale. But if 12 out of 25 show interest in the lead magnet because the lead magnet offer is so good, then we get 3 to 5 of those to buy the core offer. That's a 3 to 5x increase without spending a penny more on ads or doing a single extra hour of outreach. We're trying to maximize the revenue per dollar spent or per hour worked. Okay, and that's why we do things in this way. Okay, part number 2 after lead magnet, we build the core offer. And so once new patients are coming through the door, the next step is to make revenue predictable on the back end. Okay, your core offer is the main thing you sell and profit on. Typically, this is a higher ticket program or a care plan. A core offer is not just a list of services patients can choose from. The offer, we need it to be a structured approach to completely solving the patient's problem. And so when we build the core offer, package all your services into a single program designed to handle every problem your patient will face along the journey. For example, you might recommend chiropractic and rehab, stretches, exercises to permanently address the problems the patient has here. They need someone to perform the chiropractic. They need to know what stretches and exercises to do. They need the support to be held accountable to doing those stretches and exercises consistently and daily. Number 4, they need to customize all the stretches, all the exercises to them and the resources, equipment, time, and abilities that they have. And so your core offer might be a 12-week program, combining chiro, exercises, and stretches all customized to fit the patient's needs. In addition, you could even give the patient the accountability and support they need to build the habits leading to real lasting health transformations. Notice, there's a ton of ways you could deliver this. For accountability and support, you could literally call them every day. You could text them. You could shoot them one email reminder, an automated reminder or something like that. You could have your front desk call them once a week, right? There's a bunch of ways we could do this. I don't want to get caught on the specific nuances, and there's a lot to talk about there. But the big piece is, are we holding them accountable and supporting them in the ways that they need to get the results they're looking for? Note here, don't feel like I'm saying just extend care plans to make more money. Okay, if a patient doesn't need it, don't offer it. This should go without saying, right? But far more often than not, I find that chiros avoid giving their true recommendations to patients. They're recommending a part of care, but not the amount it will take to get a patient 100% to their goal or 100% to wellness care, okay? Package and recommend the entire amount a patient needs to get to 100% of their goals. In other words, recommend the amount of care it takes the patient to get to wellness care. Don't shy away because the dollar amount, okay? That's not genuine, that's not authentic. So I have a couple guides here. You can access them to building your core offer. Just go through, these will help walk through a lot of that. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Okay, Dr. Ryan's lead magnet. Let's walk through what we did with him. So we installed a discounted first visit while adding a ton of value. Okay, so it was a 365 consult exam, muscle testing and treatment. We marked that down to under $100. Okay, crazy. And we added a bonus free H-spot session. That's usually $200. In essence, any new patient claiming this offer is getting $550 plus of value for under $100. That's over an 80% discount. Yes, that deal is insane, but that's exactly the point, right? So his core offer, we package H-spot and chiro. We want the offer to be so good, patients feel stupid saying no, okay? So for his core offer, what did we sell once they did come in? Now the lead magnet was attracting new patients. We needed a structure that would lead to more revenue on the back end. And so now they know what kind of problem they have, right? When they come in for that first visit, they experience what HBOT is like. And he's like, cool. Now that you've experienced these things and you know what's wrong, we can help you solve it. And so they now have explained and broke down what is their actual problem that they were looking to solve in the first place, right? In that consult. So we built a Chiro and HBOT program to package Dr. Ryan's best initial recommendations. What we saw that he was typically doing was about 20 Chiro visits and 20 HBOT sessions, okay? All we did was package those together. He can always customize them if someone doesn't need that, just a quick heads up. But this is the standard, right? Where it's a starting point. And he sells them for $39.97. And we built out 3 payment options. Number 1 was monthly payments, 3 monthly payments without a discount. Number 2 was 2 payments with 15% discount. And number 3 was a prepay. This came with a 20% discount, okay? And so this allowed him to incentivize prepays a lot so he could bring in the cash and collect that a bit earlier. Extremely helpful for the conversion process and retention. So some key points here. His care plan was over $2,000. Now, this helps a ton if you're running any kind of paid advertising because it makes it easy to collect that money back. We'll talk about that in a second here. Number 2, there was no pay per visit option. We removed that because if someone can't get started and pay at least for the month, the odds that they're going to stick through care is very low. And what I don't want to have happen is have a patient start care, pay the money, and not be able to get the results. That does not help them. That does not help our business. It's a lose situation. That is the only way to lose. And so we don't want that. I would rather give up on a couple dollars and get patients that are really ready to make that step. If they're not ready because they don't believe in it, we can walk through that. But if they literally just don't have the finances for it, this might not be the right time. And I would rather them not spend their last couple dollars on part of care that's not going to even get them the result they're looking for. Come on, let's be super real here. That's not right, okay? Number 3, pricing options. Monthly, no discount, split pay 15% discount, and prepay 20% discount. So we have 3 pricing options, and that's what we went with. All right. So the result, a lead magnet that contributed to over 20 times the number of new patients every single month. A care plan the patients were excited about that aligned with Dr. Ryan's research. Pricing options that meant it only takes 8 new patients prepaying to hit over $30,000 a month from just new patients. It doesn't count retention or all the other stuff, that comes later. No, just from new patients. It only takes 8 new patients prepaying to hit $30K per month. That's crazy. And so this is what you can get as you start to build out your lead magnet and your core offer. What's next? Well, having a good thing to sell only matters if you have people to sell it to. Now that Dr. Ryan has an attraction offer to capture attention, we need to get more people to see that attraction offer. Okay, which takes us to part 2, generating more new patients. By the way, if you want me and my team to map out your roadmap to $30,000 a month, then schedule a strategy session with the link in the description. We'll walk through steps A to Z of this entire process and help you customize it to your dream practice. We've helped docs like Dr. Cody from Polaris Chiropractic break past years of plateauing of $15,000 to $20,000 and hit the $30K per month within just 60 days of installing these systems. It happens fast. So if you're ready to stop guessing, finally build the practice you've been chasing, schedule a free strategy session using that link in the description, and let's see how fast we can make it happen. The second thing we did is focus on new patient generation. When we first started working together, Dr. Ryan did not have a single system to generate new patients. He was averaging 1 new patient every other month. That was 6 new patients per year. He was not marketing at all, not even asking for referrals. Like when I say it all, he literally wasn't doing anything. People would randomly come in every now and again, and it was completely unpredictable. So what's next? The offer. Let's talk about it. The offer is important, but it only matters if people see it. So the next step was simple. Get the offer in front of as many people as possible. And so we started building a new patient generation system. There's only 4 ways to tell more patients about your business. Number 1, we reach out in a one-on-one setting, or we reach out in a one-to-many setting. And then the other variables are reach out to people who know us, or we reach out to people who don't know us. And we can draw a little grid up here just so we can see it. So if you think back to like biology, Punnett squares, that's basically what we're doing here. So we have our core 4, right? Number 1, people who know us, and private messaging. This would be like warm outreach. We're doing one-to-one messaging with people who know us, reaching out to our friends, family members. Example, we reached out to a friend that used to have back pain, or you ask a patient to reach out to a friend that did, right? A referral. Okay. Number 2, people who don't know us, and also private. This is cold outreach. This could be like we go to an event and hand out flyers for our practice. We do cold calls. We walk door to door and ask people how we can help, right? That kind of deal. Number 3 is one-to-many with people who know us. This would be like content, social media, people who know who we are, follow us on social media, and then we put content out to them, right? One-to-many. Number 4, we reach out to people who don't know us in a one-to-many setting, which would be running paid ads. We run ads on Facebook and Instagram to bring more people in the door. An example of that. Cool. And so let's walk through some pros and cons of each, because everything has its good and bad. And so when you pick something, my biggest thing is pick one, stick with it, go all in. So with warm outreach, pros, low cost, fast results, it's easy to start. The hard part is that it's difficult to scale. There's a huge time commitment, and it's tough if you're in a new city. You don't have many people. Number 2, cold outreach. Pros, low cost, you got fast results again, unlimited number of people. Cons, it's very hard to scale. There's a medium skill barrier here, and a huge time commitment and a massive amount of effort, right? It's very uncomfortable cold calling, right? Just an example. All right, content. Pros here. It's low cost, it's easy to scale, you have unlimited potential, and it boosts every other outreach method, right? So it's a good thing for all the other outreaches. You have more content, people are more likely to trust you if you're doing cold outreach, warm out, all the stuff, right? The cons. It is the highest skill barrier. The results are very slow. It's extremely difficult to learn. And content is national. So for local businesses, it tends not to do as well because you're marketing to everybody, not just people in your area. Paid ads. The pros here, it's easy to scale, very fast results. There's unlimited potential, and you can build your business at twice the speed. Very easy to do that quickly. The cons here, it requires a monetary investment, right? There's a medium skill barrier to this. It requires a model to monetize and profit quickly. You might not have the funds to sink 10K before you make your first 10K back over the course of a year. You might need to, hey, I need to spend 1,500 and make 4,000, right? So that I can at least make 1,500 back so that I could at least continue to do this thing, right? And so pick one of these things and go all in on it. Paid ads and referrals are the two systems I've seen make the most outsized returns, okay? Obviously, a dream practice is completely built on referrals over any type of cold audience, for sure. That would have been ideal. But the problem that most practices have is that they can't get enough referrals to fill all their new patient availability, right? And so given the size of Dr. Ryan's practice, he would not have been able to get more than a couple referrals per month. So what changes did we make? We installed a paid advertising system into his practice. Getting patients from paid ads it's like getting spinal screenings on autopilot. So instead of finding events, spending 6 hours in the heat, talking to 100 people, just get 5 bookings over the course of a week, paid ads lets you do all this on autopilot as you see other patients, as you drive revenue into the practice. And so Dr. Ryan had tried paid ads before. He had absolutely zero success. No new patients came in and signed up for care. And the issue wasn't Facebook, strategy behind ads. And I'm not saying that it was just him running ads either. He was working with another company and they still couldn't make it happen. And so when we're running paid advertising, there's really a few different parts we want to key in on. Number 1, capturing attention is key, okay? Which means you need to stand out. We rebuilt all of his campaigns from the ground up using his new attraction offer and his program-based angle. His attraction offer, we just built that out. That helped him stand out. So that was a huge needle mover. With the program angle, we advertised a multi-week program that's roughly the care plan length, okay? This helps set proper expectations. The care isn't a quick fix, and it attracts more serious patients looking for a bigger health change. Number 2, we tested a ton of image and video ads. Most businesses do not test nearly enough. Once something stops working, then they just look at what other competitors are doing and they just copy them, and it's this endless cycle of copy paste, okay? If you want to capture attention, you need to do things differently. You need to test original things. Number 3, care plan size plays a huge role here. It gives a significant buffer and it allows room for slip-ups. Think about it this way. Even if Dr. Ryan spent $1,500 on ads and he only got 1 new patient to start care, they chose the monthly option instead of the prepay, and they end up discontinuing, he would still have collected $1,333 upfront. So worst case scenario here, if the patient canceled after a single month and didn't finish their plan, which is not regular, right? He would only lose $160 from that. Best case, way different. We bring in 15 new patients, 8 of them start care, and you just made, all of them continue, you just made 30K. Crazy. So I want to take a second and talk about patient-funded marketing, or PFM. Paid ads comes with its own set of challenges. The biggest hurdle for Dr. Ryan was budget. He did not have the revenue to spend on ads. So we use something we call patient-funded marketing. We do this for everyone regardless of if you have the revenue or not, because it is objectively a better way to advertise. So what is PFM? We use the profits from a patient signing on to care to fund our marketing of 2 more new patients within the next 30 days. This creates a self-sustaining system. Let me walk through that. Let's play it out. So you spend $300 to get 2 new patients in the door. 1 patient starts care. They sign on with an $1,800 plan, half of it paid up front. From this $900, $300 covers the ad cost, which means $600 in profit remaining. We now take this $900 and use that to get 6 more new patients in the door. Remember, we spent $300 to get 2, so $900 will get us 6, right? If 3 to 6 of those new patients convert for an average of $900, we collect $2,700 off of $900 spent. And then we can rinse and repeat this process until all the new patient slots are taken up every single month. The reason this is so big, because we are spending $300 out of pocket and driving multiples from that investment within 30 days. We're literally growing using patient-funded cash flow. We only spent $300 initially to get the system started. After that, it was all patient profits that were covering the rest of our ad spend. and we got to take home profits whenever we want. All right. So 3 keys to success. Number 1, we must sell a care plan or services for at least 3x the initial investment. Number 2, we must collect 3 times the investment within 30 days of running the ad. Why is that? Put my charge on a credit card and I collect 3 times investment right away. I can pay off that card and then continue marketing. So that's why that helps. Number 3, you must have an authentic conversion process that builds trust and helps patients commit. We'll get to this one in the next section, but just wanted to outline it as a key to success. So patient-funded marketing means we use the profits from a 3x return on all ad spend to continue advertising without any sunk costs. A 3x return means you can advertise for free while profiting from new patients walking in the door. And so the result here, in his first week, we took Dr. Ryan from an average of 6 new patients per year to booking 8 new patients in a single week. Absolutely crazy, right? And of those 8 new patients, he's able to profit right away and drive more revenue and continue doing the marketing. So nuts, but this is how we actually scaled the number of new patients he had coming into his practice. The third thing we addressed is the conversion process, okay? And Dr. Ryan had 3 big problems with his conversions. Number 1, he had absolutely no metric tracking. Number 2, his care plan length and pricing options were so ambiguous, you could not tell if someone was converting or not. We addressed this in the first section. We need a specific offer we can say, like patient said no or patient said yes. Number 3, he felt like a sleazy salesperson when he used fancy sales tactics to talk finances and recommend care and all that stuff. We're going to address all 3 of these. So, how to know if your conversions are an issue? If you don't track your metrics, then your numbers are not as good as they could be. Think about it this way. How much more difficult would chiropractic school have been if you never knew your grade throughout all the years until the very end, after your last try? It would have been insanely stressful, and you wouldn't have had any of the positive or negative reinforcement to encourage you or to push you to improve. Way more difficult. And so the same thing applies to our conversions. If we track, we will have the positive reinforcement when we do well, and we'll have that negative reinforcement to tell us like, hey, let's not do this again. If you don't have a point after your ROF where patients can either decide, do I want to move forward with the plan or do I not want to move forward with the plan? Then your plan is probably too ambiguous. You didn't understand what is my conversion percentage. Patients will say yes to, hey, let's just get you scheduled for visit number 2, even if they aren't completely sold on your care being the right solution to their problem. They might show up to that visit. They may just schedule that one and then say no to future care. We don't want to have to keep on reselling them on coming back for their next visit and just finishing the thing they initially agreed to. Feel free to use payment options aside from prepay, but the percentage of new patients deciding to either prepay, split pay, or take the monthly option are a great measuring stick to understanding how bought in your patients are. As the number of prepays increases, that means patients are more bought in. Pro tip here, check your stats to see your total visits over a 3 or more year time frame. Then divide this by the total number of patients over the same time frame. The total is going to equal your PVA. It's your patient visit average. This is the average number of visits a patient comes in for across their lifetime. If your average is less than the recommendation you have, this should be a red flag right away that your conversion percentage is not high enough. People are doing one of 2 things. They're either not getting started with care or they're dropping out during their care plan. So if we have a lot of people that are not even at the recommendation number, we're missing them, which means they're not even getting the result they're looking for. And if you feel like you have to use fancy sales tactics to help patients trust you and decide to move forward, then you haven't mastered having an authentic conversion conversation with your patients. It should not feel salesy. It should feel authentic and genuine. So what changes did we make? Number 1, we manually started tracking stats every single month. A couple questions you can ask yourself to see where you're at here. How many patients did you have in that month? How many patients did you present a care plan to? What percentage of them moved to a monthly split pay or prepay option? So like the total percentage that is signed on to one of those 3 options. And then how many move forward with the monthly option? How many move forward to a split pay option? How many move forward to a prepay option? And then calculating those percentages. Number 2, we implemented and practiced our conversion masterclass and non-salesy conversion blueprint. So there's 2 main aspects to this conversion conversation. Number 1, we need to understand the patient's what, their how, and their why. But number 2, we implemented and practiced our conversion masterclass and our non-salesy conversion blueprint. I have links to the full docs below, right in this yellow section here. Grab this Gamma Doc for access to those. This is literally me walking through A through Z of every single little thing, every detail that we walk docs through as far as building their plans, implementing their plans, walking through this non-salesy process. It's huge. It's me breaking every single little piece down. Do not miss out on that. I highly recommend you grab that doc. With that, I'm going to walk through a couple of the small bullet points I walked in the doc. This is such a surface level piece, but we need to understand the patient's what, the patient's how, and their why. What are they dealing with? What is the problem? This is the specific problem they're dealing with. How it's impacting their life. How does their life look different today than it would if they weren't dealing with the problem? And then the why is why it matters to them personally. It is rarely just about pain. It is typically tied to their identity. And so why it matters, an example of this, just real quick, would be We have a patient dealing with migraines. They're not able to spend time with their kids playing soccer or taking their kids to their soccer practice. Why it matters to them. They remember the memories of their parents and how supported they felt with their parents and how they feel like their mom or their dad was an amazing parent because they were always present, but they're not able to be present. So they don't feel like they're the mom or dad they want to be. And so that's huge. That's their identity. They don't feel like they're a good parent. And it's important for us to understand that. We're not telling them they shouldn't feel like they're a good parent. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that they already feel this way and they just maybe haven't connected the dots yet. So it's important for us to understand that and help them realize, wait, this is all tied. This lack of this insecurity you've been feeling is all tied to us just solving this one problem. So next thing, we need to tie our pitch into the patient's what and the how and the why. So every part of your recommendation should link directly back to what they said. Instead of explaining every detail of chiropractic or your passion for health, we frame your program as the bridge between where they're at now and then where they want to be. Okay, so it is important for us to remember this is just the bridge between their current state and their goal state, right? We explain how what we do addresses their problem, which is addresses their what, to get them back into doing what they want to do, which is the how, so that they can experience their dream outcome, which is their big reason why. All without doing the things that have made them unsuccessful in the past, which is all the things that they said that they've tried that haven't worked. So here, we don't want to sell what we do. We want to sell what it lets them avoid or what it lets them achieve. Okay, so we translate all the features of chiropractic into life outcomes. We show them the cost of inaction. We'll keep feeling, keep paying, keep hurting versus the cost of action, which means, hey, we're going to solve it once. We're free from this thing forever. The links to the full trainings right here. So the result, Dr. Ryan collected $31,000 in care plan sales in a single month. From $4K a month to $31,000 in a single month, all within 1 year of us actually implementing these processes. We helped Dr. Ryan go from $4K a month to over $31,000 by doing just 3 things. We crafted his offer. We put the offer in front of more people. We learned how to convert patients without being salesy. This Gamma Doc I've been walking through gives you access to all the links, all the resources Dr. Ryan used to 10x his practice this year. If you want access to it so you can do the exact same thing, click the link in the description, let us know what email to send it to, and we'll send that over. Now, if you want to 2x, you want to 3x, and even 10x your practice, but you're not sure where to start, even if you had the resources, right? Let us help you. Don't waste your time, energy, and finances. Schedule a free strategy session. You can use that link in the description, or when you claim the Gamma Doc, you'll also have an option to do that right after claiming. In this session, we'll create your lead magnet and your core offer. Super important. We're going to customize that for your practice. We'll create your new patient generation system. So we're going to pick one of the options and help you roll forward and implement that into your practice. And number 3, we're going to give you your script to have an authentic conversion conversation. We'll actually walk through that with you to make sure everything feels natural and authentic for you, your practice. This is completely free. So if you finally want to have a predictable and consistent patient-funded growth system, click that link in the description now, book your free strategy session. Let's get this thing rolling.